Greetings, students of the Force, and welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if it's your first time visiting. Several days ago, we did a video essay on why Qui-Gon Jinn was the only Jedi that Palpatine really feared could end his plan. However, this fear actually stemmed deeper back into his master, where there is actually a different reason why Darth Plagueis himself feared Qui-Gon Jinn, a much younger Jedi at the time. For 1,000 years, the Sith have been in hiding under the doctrine of the Rule of Two, as set in motion by Darth Bane. Around the time of the pre-Clone Wars era, Plagueis had selected Palpatine as his apprentice, and the winds of the Force were beginning to change. The actualization of the Sith plans were at hand, and Plagueis could feel it. Plagueis began to get involved more with galactic affairs, having a hand in politics through Palpatine, and even having a hand in the Jedi Order through his connections to Jedi such as Dooku and Sifo Dyas, being rather friendly with both of them. Darth Plagueis started setting the plans in motion after speaking with the Kaminoans and manipulating Master Sifo Dyas into commissioning them for the creation of the Clone Army. Everything appeared to be working in the Sith's favor. This was until Plagueis heard news from his apprentice, Palpatine, about the 9-year-old slave boy brought back from Tatooine by Jedi Master Qui-Gon Jinn. It was said that the boy was incredibly powerful in the Force, and that the Jedi were considering him to be the chosen one of ancient prophecy. In this moment, Darth Plagueis realized something, and he was struck with intense fear, not only for the boy, but for Qui-Gon. Qui-Gon Jinn had just become Sith enemy number 1. And this is why. To start, Plagueis was never a believer in the Chosen One prophecy at all, but what made him change his mind is the way that he felt through the Force whenever it balanced itself, as well as the way that Plagueis believed the Force itself worked when it balanced out. 9 years prior, Plagueis and Sidious performed a dark ritual in order to leave their mark on the Force and shift it into the dark side's favor for the time being, as the Sith believed that their plans were now on the horizon. However, what they did not know until now was that the Force fought back and forcibly balanced itself by forming into Anakin and bringing about the Chosen One of ancient prophecy. So what does this have to do with Qui-Gon? Plagueis had actually met Qui-Gon Jinn once before when he had a meeting on Sereno with his master Dooku. This meeting also included Sifo Dyas as well as Qui-Gon Jinn. Plagueis quickly discovered that Qui-Gon was a headstrong Jedi, very much unlike the rest of them, as Plagueis sensed he was very much like his master Dooku. However, something was different. Qui-Gon and Dooku both saw through the dogma and cracks in the Jedi Order. But unlike Dooku, Qui-Gon also fully realized the shortcomings and the selfishness of the Sith. Plagueis knew then that Qui-Gon Jinn, unlike Dooku, could not be swayed, and he was a powerful opponent, not just in the way of the Force and a lightsaber, but in influence and importance to the greater scheme of the galaxy. And what made Plagueis fear him even more, the greater schemes of the Force itself. Because of this, Darth Plagueis quickly left his home in a rare occasion in order to go find Anakin. This led him to where Anakin, Qui-Gon, and Obi-Wan had stopped to rest and had briefly docked. Standing from afar, Plagueis watched with the macro binoculars. He then decided to reach out with the Force to see if he truly felt anything special about Anakin. All of the sudden it came to him as he was accosted by visions, flashing in the future. A terrible vision. This is what the passage reads from the Darth Plagueis novel. He stretched out with the Force and fell victim to an assault of perplexing images, ferocious battles in deep space, the clashing of lightsabers, partitions of radiant light, a black, helmeted cyborg rising from a table. By the time his gaze had returned, Qui-Gon and the boy had disappeared, trying to desperately make sense of the images granted to him by the Force. Plagueis fought desperately to repress the truth. The boy would change the course of history, unless Maul had to kill Qui-Gon to keep the boy from being trained. Qui-Gon was the key to everything, but perhaps the boy had already changed it. In the passage, we learn that Darth Plagueis has learned of the Clone Wars and even sees it. He sees Vader all before it ever happens, and he instantly knows that if Qui-Gon were to train the boy, Anakin would become everything of the Chosen One prophecy, and everything it was meant to be. It is no secret to us in the Star Wars community that we have known for a long time that Qui-Gon truly was the correct mentor and father figure for Anakin, and that no one else could have brought him into greatness as good as Qui-Gon Jinn could have. He would have understood the lies and the dogma of the Jedi, and been able to properly instruct Anakin on how to temper his emotions and truly use the balance of the Force the way it was meant to be. This is exactly why Plagueis was absolutely terrified of Qui-Gon Jinn as well as Anakin in this moment. he began to wonder if the Sith had been completely undone, and if the millennia of work for the rule of two had ultimately been for nothing, just because of one Jedi in Qui-Gon, a lowly single Jedi. He could not let this happen, so instead, he instructed that Maul had to kill Qui-Gon at all costs in order to protect everything that the Sith had built. If Darth Maul did not kill Qui-Gon Jinn in this moment, it would have all ended here. Anakin Skywalker would have been trained, perhaps, to be more than a Jedi, to use the Force itself, the cosmic and living Force, in tandem with one another in perfection. Anakin would have most definitely single-handedly potentially destroyed the Sith and brought balance to the Force yet again. Darth Plagueis realized just how dangerous Anakin Skywalker was, and how dangerous Qui-Gon was, and he even wanted Anakin to be killed. However, of course we know his apprentice, devious in his own right of course, had other plans for the young Skywalker. So friends, what did you think of this passage? Did you know of Qui-Gon's true importance to the Chosen One prophecy? If you enjoyed this video, I highly recommend you read the Darth Plagueis novel by James Luceno if you haven't already. It's one of the best books ever written in my opinion. Not just Star Wars, but basically one of the best books ever. And if you would like more videos like this pertaining to the secret fears and drives of characters, drop a comment down below. Until the next video, my friends, may the Force be with you, and I hope that you have a great day.